Taking just 5 grams of creatine a day sounds simple, almost too simple. No loading phases, no fancy timing, no complicated rules. But once that daily dose becomes consistent, your body begins to respond in ways most people don't expect. Some reactions are obvious, like improved strength or better workout performance. Others are more subtle, showing up in how your muscles recover, how steady your energy feels, or how your body handles daily movement. A few changes can even shift how you feel from morning to night without you immediately realizing why. Creatine works quietly in the background, building up in your muscles and supporting energy production over time. It doesn't rely on hype or instant sensations. That's why many people overlook its real impact. So let's break down 12 real reactions your body can have when you take 5 grams of creatine every day. Honestly, clearly, and without fear-based myths or exaggerated promises. Number 1. Your muscles store more water. The scale might move before your strength does, and that can be confusing if you're not expecting it. When you start taking creatine, your muscles begin pulling more water into their cells. This makes them look and feel fuller, firmer, and better hydrated. The number on the scale may increase slightly, but this isn't body fat. It's water stored where it actually helps performance. That extra water improves how muscles contract, produce force, and recover between efforts. It also helps protect joints and connective tissue by improving overall muscle support. The catch is that these internal changes often happen before visible strength gains show up in the gym. Many people panic when they see the scale go up and assume something is going wrong, when in reality, their muscles are simply preparing to perform better. Strength improvements typically follow once muscles are fully saturated with creatine and training remains consistent. The key is understanding what the scale is measuring: total body weight, not body composition or performance. If your workouts feel more stable, your muscles feel fuller and recovery improves. The scale moving slightly is often a sign that creatine is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Number 2. Your strength gradually increases. It doesn't happen overnight, but it adds up faster than most people expect. Creatine works by slowly saturating your muscle cells, not by delivering an instant boost. At first, the changes feel small and almost easy to miss. You might squeeze out one extra rep, lift a slightly heavier weight, or feel less drained at the end of a set. Those tiny improvements don't seem dramatic in the moment, but they matter more than you think. As those small gains repeat, session after session, they begin to compound. An extra rep today becomes 2 more next week. Slightly better endurance turns into noticeably stronger workouts over time. That steady progression puts more positive stress on your muscles, which leads to better adaptation and growth. Creatine doesn't force progress, it supports it by making effort more efficient. The real power of creatine is consistency. When you train regularly and keep taking your daily dose, those small advantages stack up quietly. Weeks later, you realize you're lifting weights that once felt heavy, recovering faster between sessions, and finishing workouts with more left in the tank. That's how creatine works. Not through sudden transformation, but through steady, reliable progress that adds up. Number 3. Your energy feels more stable. This isn't caffeine energy. It's steady, reliable energy that works behind the scenes. Creatine helps your body regenerate ATP, which is the main fuel your muscles use for short, powerful movements. Instead of giving you a sudden spike and crash like stimulants, creatine supports a more stable energy supply. You don't feel amped up, but you do feel more capable of sustaining effort without burning out as quickly. In workouts, this often shows up as better endurance during sets, less fatigue between efforts, and improved performance without that jittery feeling. Outside the gym, many people notice they simply feel less drained during the day. Climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or staying mentally sharp for longer periods feels easier because your cells have better access to energy. This kind of energy is subtle but meaningful. You're not relying on stimulants to push through fatigue. Your body is just functioning more efficiently. Over time, that efficiency adds up to better workouts, improved recovery, and more consistency overall. Creatine doesn't override tiredness caused by poor sleep or stress, but when the basics are in place, it provides a steady foundation of usable energy that supports both training and everyday life. Number 4. Recovery starts improving. You bounce back faster between sessions, and that's one of the most underrated benefits of taking creatine daily. Many people notice that muscle soreness doesn't linger as long, and that their body feels ready to train again sooner. This doesn't mean soreness disappears completely, but recovery feels smoother and more manageable instead of dragging on for days. One big reason for this is improved hydration inside the muscle cells. Creatine pulls water into the muscles, which supports nutrient delivery, waste removal, and overall cellular health. Well-hydrated muscle cells recover more efficiently after being stressed during training. This internal environment helps muscles repair themselves and adapt without feeling constantly beaten down. Faster recovery also leads to better consistency. When you're not excessively sore, you're more likely to stick to your workouts and maintain good training quality. That consistency is where real progress comes from. Creatine doesn't replace rest, sleep, or proper nutrition, but it enhances the recovery process so those basics work better. Over time, bouncing back faster means more productive sessions, less frustration, and a smoother path toward strength and performance improvements. Number 5. You may gain weight, but not fat. The scale can be misleading, especially when you first start taking creatine. It's common to see a small increase in body weight early on, and for many people, that number triggers unnecessary worry. But this isn't body fat. What's happening is that creatine is pulling water into your muscle cells, making them more hydrated, fuller, and better prepared to perform. That extra water has weight, and the scale reflects it. The problem is that the scale can't tell the difference between fat, muscle, or water. It only shows total weight. That's why relying on it alone often leads people to the wrong conclusion. Instead of focusing on the number, pay attention to how your body looks, feels, and performs. Are your workouts improving? Do your muscles feel firmer? Are you recovering faster between sessions? Those signs matter far more than a small change on the scale. Progress with creatine is better measured through the mirror, your strength levels, and your energy in daily life. When those are moving in the right direction, a slight scale increase is usually just part of the process, not a problem to fix. Number 6. Your muscles feel fuller. Your body can look stronger before it actually grows, and that's one of the earliest changes people notice with creatine. By pulling water into muscle cells, creatine increases cell volume, which makes muscles appear firmer, tighter, and more solid. This happens before any real muscle tissue is added, so the visual change can show up surprisingly fast. Clothes may fit a little differently, and muscles can look fuller, even without major changes in body weight or size. This effect isn't fake or temporary pump in the usual sense. Increased cell volume improves the internal environment of the muscle, supporting better performance and recovery. That fuller look is often a sign that your muscles are better hydrated and more prepared to handle training stress. Over time, this can actually support real muscle growth by creating conditions that allow muscles to adapt more effectively. It's important not to confuse early fullness with finished results. The appearance change comes first, while actual muscle growth takes longer and depends on consistent training and nutrition. Think of it as your muscles turning on the lights before construction begins. Creatine sets the stage, and real growth follows with patience and effort. Number 7. Your digestion adapts. Your gut notices creatine too, even though most people tolerate it very well at a daily dose of 5 grams. When you first start, your digestive system may need a little time to adjust. Some people experience mild bloating or stomach discomfort early on, not because creatine is harmful, but because the body isn't used to processing it yet. This adjustment phase is usually temporary and often disappears once creatine intake becomes consistent. How you take creatine makes a big difference. Mixing it thoroughly in enough liquid helps prevent undissolved powder from sitting in the stomach, which can cause discomfort. Warm or room temperature liquids tend to dissolve creatine better than ice-cold drinks. Staying well hydrated throughout the day also supports digestion and reduces the chance of stomach issues. If sensitivity persists, splitting the dose into 2 smaller servings can help the gut adapt more comfortably. The key is patience and consistency. For most people, once the digestive system adjusts, creatine becomes easy to take and problem-free. When used properly, creatine supports performance without causing ongoing digestive trouble. Number 8. Your hydration needs increase. Creatine changes how your body uses water, and that's something many people don't expect. As creatine pulls more water into your muscle cells, your overall fluid needs increase slightly. Because of this shift, it's common to feel thirstier, especially during the first few weeks. That thirst is simply your body signaling that it needs more fluids to support this new balance. If you ignore that signal, headaches, muscle cramps, or general fatigue can show up. These symptoms are often blamed on creatine itself, when the real issue is inadequate hydration. Drinking enough water allows your body to take full advantage of creatine's benefits while avoiding unnecessary discomfort. Hydrated muscles perform better, recover faster, and feel less tight during activity. The fix is simple, but important. Drink consistently throughout the day, not just around workouts. Pay attention to how you feel, especially during training or in hot conditions. When fluid intake matches your body's needs, creatine feels smooth and supportive instead of draining. Proper hydration turns this adjustment into a benefit, not a problem. Number 9. Your workouts feel more consistent. Fewer bad days in the gym is one of the most practical benefits of taking creatine consistently. Creatine doesn't magically turn every workout into a personal best session, and that's important to understand. What it does instead is raise your baseline. Those days where you normally feel flat, weak, or unusually drained tend to happen less often. By improving how your muscles regenerate energy, creatine helps you show up with more reliable strength and endurance. Even when sleep isn't perfect or stress is a little higher than usual, workouts often feel more manageable. You may not feel incredible, but you don't feel useless either, and that makes a big difference for long-term progress. Reducing bad days improves consistency, and consistency is what drives results. When fewer sessions feel like a struggle, you're more likely to complete your workouts, maintain good effort, and stay motivated. Over time, that steadiness adds up to better strength, improved conditioning, and more confidence in your training. Creatine doesn't eliminate off days, but it smooths out the extremes, and that alone can change how enjoyable and productive training feels. Number 10. Your brain energy may improve. Creatine doesn't stop at muscles. Its effects extend to your brain as well. Your brain relies heavily on ATP for energy, just like your muscles do. By supporting ATP regeneration, creatine can help the brain manage mental tasks more efficiently. That's why many people report better focus, clearer thinking, and less brain fog after taking creatine consistently. This mental benefit is especially noticeable on long or stressful days. Instead of feeling mentally drained halfway through the day, you may find it easier to stay engaged, make decisions, and maintain concentration. It's not a stimulant effect, so there's no jitteriness or crash. The change is subtle but steady, showing up as improved mental endurance rather than a sudden burst of energy. Creatine isn't a cure for stress or poor sleep, but it can help your brain cope better when demands are high. Over time, this support can improve productivity, mood, stability, and overall mental resilience. Most people think of creatine as a muscle supplement, but its impact on brain energy is real and often one of the most overlooked benefits. Number 11. Blood tests may look different. This one surprises a lot of people and can cause unnecessary worry if it's not explained properly. Creatine supplementation can increase creatinine levels, which is a waste marker doctors often use to assess kidney function. Seeing that number rise on a lab report can sound alarming at first, but it doesn't automatically mean there's kidney damage or a health problem. In many cases, it's simply a reflection of higher creatine turnover in the body. The real issue here isn't danger, it's context. If your doctor doesn't know you're taking creatine, they may misinterpret the results and assume something is wrong. That can lead to stress, extra testing, or even being told to stop a supplement that isn't actually causing harm. Clear communication avoids all of that. Always tell your healthcare provider about any supplements you're using, including creatine. When lab results are viewed with the full picture in mind, creatinine levels make much more sense. For healthy individuals, this change is usually harmless, but transparency is what keeps it from becoming confusing or concerning. Number 12. Your results depend on consistency. This is the most important reaction of all, and it's also the least exciting consistency. Taking 5 grams of creatine daily works because it keeps your muscles consistently saturated over time. Creatine doesn't rely on perfect timing or special windows. It relies on steady levels inside your muscle cells. When those levels stay high, your muscles can produce energy more efficiently, recover better, and perform more reliably. Skipping days breaks that saturation. When creatine intake is inconsistent, muscle stores slowly drop and progress slows down with them. That's why some people feel like creatine stops working, when in reality, they just aren't taking it regularly enough. A missed day here and there isn't the end of the world, but turning supplementation into an on and off habit prevents you from ever seeing its full benefit. The takeaway is simple: consistency beats timing every time. Morning, night, before or after workouts. It all works as long as you do it daily. Treat creatine like a basic habit, not a special ritual, and it becomes one of the most dependable tools for long-term strength, recovery, and performance. Bottom line, creatine isn't magic, but when you take 5 grams daily, your body quietly adapts in powerful ways. More energy, better recovery, improved strength, and even mental benefits. All from one of the most researched supplements in the world. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these reactions from taking creatine? Or do you want a follow-up video on creatine after 50, side effects, or the best beginner routine? Drop a comment, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.